Hi everyone, it's Tracy. I hadn't done a video in quite a while and had a couple of decks that I haven't seen much about on social media, so I wanted to show them to you in case you were interested in them. The first one is called the Bright Idea Deck, Breakthrough to Brilliance by Marc Mcilroy with illustrations by Eric Holtz. Okay. I'm pretty sure this one is out of print, but I have seen a lot of copies popping up on eBay recently, brand new copies that are not too expensive at all. And it is published by Llewellyn. So this leads me to believe that this is a non-tarot person's way into the world and the archetypes of tarot without it actually looking like a tarot deck. But let's see what it actually says. Instant ideas inside this box. Now instant inspiration is easy anytime, anywhere with the Bright Idea Deck. This powerful and portable creative tool is perfect for artists, writers, consultants, professionals, or anyone who needs creativity on demand. And you can see this is the back of the box. It includes a 216-page book and a 78-card deck. So let's open it up and have a look. Opens kind of like that. Then we have the book and here is the deck. It's a bit slippery. I can't seem to hold it. Here's the deck. And it is broken down into different categories or groups, just like the Arcana and tarot. So let's have a look at the book. Oh, here we go. Here are the suit associations. We have the trumps. See, trumps are purple. Red, actions, desires, goals, and intentions, which is like the wands. Blue for emotions, perceptions, intuitions, reactions, and prejudices, interesting, which is I would see as the cups. Yellow as decisions, logic, strategies, responses, judgment, which is like the swords. And green for material, resources, five senses, physical objects, environment, which is like the pentacles. Here's the back. It looks, yeah, it looks reversible to me. Sorry about that. I'm trying a new setup. And then we have number associations, a card that has the quick look at the number associations. So you can see it's pretty much numerology based number associations. So we have that. And then it comes with this book. It has the contents. Getting started with the Bright Idea Deck. Forces and influences, exploring the trumps. Feelings and emotions, exploring the blue suit. Practicality and physicality, exploring the green suit. Decisions and logic, exploring the yellow suit. Intention and action, exploring the red suit. And then ideas for action, 50 things to do with the Bright Ideas deck. This does look like it's got some interesting stuff in it. Getting started with the Bright Idea Deck. Welcome to the Bright Idea Deck, a powerful idea processor and brainstorming tool disguised as a deck of cards. With this deck, you can solve problems faster, generate new ideas more easily, think outside the box more effectively than ever before. It's got some activities in here. What would the trumps do? That sounds kind of ominous. What would the trumps do? Instant interviews. When in need of advice or insight, draw 3 to 5 cards, arrange them on the table in a straight line. Imagine asking each person on the card what he or she would do in your situation. It has a timed reading, which is interesting. And then it goes into each of the cards. And let's have a look. Say freedom. Freedom is 0, which is basically the Fool. And it says, encourages new beginnings, taking risks, thinking outside the box, fresh approaches, playfulness, curiosity, optimism, enthusiasm. Cautions against rash decisions or actions, wearing rose-colored glasses, inexperience, baseless conclusions, mistaking ignorance for confidence. And then it asks questions. So if we're looking at this card, it says, what might the rainbow on the card represent? What moods, activities, or approaches might be suggested by someone jumping over the rainbow? What might the loosened tie and collar signify? What is remarkable or unusual about the scepter this young man carries? What might it suggest about him, about his approach, about his authority? What does the distribution of sand in the hourglass represent to you? What images or objects can you see in the background of this card? How are these images related? How might they tie into the card's overall theme? And then it has commentary for each card. It says, unfettered by logic or gravity, our jovial jumper soars over the rainbow. Such an individual might operate outside the restrictions the rest of us follow. On the other hand, freedom might also dictate finding innovative ways to work within the rules. It's not always foolish to put the cart before the ox. We detest limits and love new beginnings, yet when anything is possible, chaos reigns. Freedom can mean many things, from license to lawlessness. What point on the spectrum best serves your needs today? That's just really interesting. And then it goes on to talk about all of the trumps, and we'll look at the cards in just a second. Talks about all the trumps, then it goes through the suits and does the same amount of information for each and every card. I don't think you're going to find that they're exactly right or weight, but it's really interesting. And then the last chapter, Ideas for Action, 50 things to do with the Bright Idea deck. Come up with great gift ideas. Draw 5 cards. Make a list of every item you see on each card. What do the items you selected make you think of? Stuff like that. So let's have a look at the cards. We had a look at the first card. They're very slippery. They're definitely Llewellyn, and they're that old Llewellyn cardstock that Kelly loves so much, because I think they're going to shuffle beautifully. But they are a bit slick and slippery. So 0 was freedom. 1 is capability, very much like the magician. 2 is intuition, which is very much like the high priestess. 3 is nurturing. I'm not going to start with the comparisons because you can see them yourself. 4 is authority. Sorry, my heater just came on. 5 is guidance. It's a little bit like Indiana Jones there. 6 is passion. You've got the classic lovers card there. 7 is advancement. It's the chariot. He's on a Segway. 8 is balance, which would make this one judgment, perhaps. 9 is experience. The hermit. He's chained to his desk. Huh, interesting. I think I can use these, just like a tarot deck. 10 is luck. Goes both ways. 11, boldness. Strength. He's even holding a dumbbell in his hand. 12 is perspective. That's interesting. 13, passage. Now, I don't think the scary cards are going to be quite so scary in this deck. 14 is synthesis. 15 is shadow. Look at all the faces he's tried on. 16 is demolition. Seventeen is optimism. 18 is fantasy. Energy, sun. Judgment is examination. Now, I don't know anybody who has an eye in their mouth and can see the dentist like that, but that's an interesting perspective on things. And then 21 is wholeness. We'll have to read up and see what that symbol means. We've seen that symbol on a couple of different cards. All right, now we move into the suits, and it starts with the blue suit, which is probably like the cups. We have motivation, union, celebration, restlessness. Oh, wow. The Five of Cups is loss. Huh. Did that bird fly out on its own, or is it missing its family? 6 is sacrifice. That's not quite the 6 of Cups. 7 is imagination. Look at that. The spider webs on his quote-unquote typewriter. And we have astrological symbols and planetary symbols on these cards. That's what those are. Okay, so that was 7. 8, dissatisfaction. One of the interpretations of the 8 of Cups. Satisfaction. And overwhelmed in the 10 of Cups. Interesting. Because usually the 10 of blue. Usually the 10 of Cups is quite a positive card. And they do have correspondences with court cards. Here we have learning impression. Then we have doing, illumination. And we have feeling, instinct. And then we have controlling, which is restraint. And now we're moving into the greens. We have receiving, decision. I like the artwork. It's interesting. Expression. It's easy to see what everything is. You know, it's very clear. Preservation. I'm holding on to it. It's mine. 5's still conflict. We have crisis. Cooperation. Evaluation. Effort. Enough. Interesting. Acquisition. And really, is that good? He makes it look not so good. And then we have the learning, doing, feeling, and feeling and controlling. So learning in the green is preparation. Doing, invention. Feeling, comfort. And controlling, intervention. Is that supposed to be a child? Looks like a teenager. Then we move into the yellows. And the yellow, the first one is choice. Then we have debate. That still looks like a choice to me. Variance. So we don't have the... Interesting, it says variance, but you can see she's clearly disappointed in her outcome. It didn't look like it was supposed to look in the book. Contemplation. Irrationality for 5. Yeah, he's going nowhere on a toboggan in the summertime. With a clown on the back. Science. Assumptions. Restriction. Conclusion. Obsession. Then the learning is information. Doing is investigation. Feeling is aptitude. The only problem with the yellow suit is it's kind of hard to read the little white words at the bottom of the card. And controlling is verdict. It's just kind of weird looking. Then we have the red suit. So we have desire, conflict, action, teamwork, pizza, that sounds like a good idea, confrontation. You know, with that motorcycle looking like that, somebody should have been really hurt in that accident. Achievement, that's definitely the 6 of Wands. Resolve. Response. Release. And exhaustion. We see a lot of people chained to their desks in this deck. That's very interesting. And then the learning is validation. Doing is persuasion. The feeling is collaboration. And the controlling is direction. American football there. Very interesting. Very much looks like it's trying to be aimed at a corporate sort of market, but it also very much looks like a tarot deck to me. I think it's very relatable because it's very much the types of situations that we actually see nowadays, as opposed to medieval figures or Renaissance figures or something like that, where they don't even dress like we do today. These people look pretty much like us and are in situations that we would be in. So I can see that it could be a very relatable deck. I think I'll have fun giving it a try. It's pretty interesting. So there we have it. That is the Bright Idea deck, creative brainstorming with the Bright Idea deck. The other deck that I picked up recently is something that you can get on Amazon, but I don't know that I've seen anybody. Oh, those are going to end up on the floor. I don't think I've seen anybody talk about it. It's the Light and Shadow Tarot. It is a black and white deck that sort of looks like woodcuts. It has 78 cards with a 208-page book. It is by Michael, when they use one of those fonts that you can't tell if it's a C or a G. Michael Goberfeld and Brian Williams, which I can read Brian Williams. But this deck, I've already shuffled this one once, and I'm not going to try to put it in order, and I'm not going to show every card. But these cards are big. They're wide. I'm thinking I'm going to try to trim them because they're just too big. Is the back. The back is not reversible. But they are very attractive. My mom had a book when I was young that had woodcut illustrations in it that scared her so bad. They were kind of creepy, And they scared her so bad that she actually took a pencil to the book when she was young. It was a copy of Wuthering Heights and Jane Eyre. And she scribbled all over them with a pencil because she thought the illustrations were kind of creepy and they scared her. But the cardstock is pretty bad on this deck. It's very thin. Very, very thin. And I can see there's two different kinds of thin cardstock. This thin cardstock is going to bend and is going to crease and get damaged. There are other types of thin cardstock, like my Delos Tarot, that it's thin, but it's obviously higher quality because it just goes right back to shape after you release it. But this one doesn't. But it's also just got some very interesting illustrations. It's Rider-Waite, basically. Rider-Waite Smith. It has planetary and astrological symbols on it. That's really cool, Two of Pentacles. I've never seen it quite like that. Here's the Five of Pentacles. And we have Princes. Prince of Pentacles. Ace of Wands. This is the Six of Cups. Let's see, it pretty much follows the standard. Let's have a quick read from the book and see if it has anything interesting to say here. The book is quite nice, quite a little chunky little guidebook. Fits in the box. I do love it when they fit in the box. And the box isn't the best lidded box I've ever had, but it's better than a tuck box. So let's pull a random card and read about that card. What have we got here? Oh, the Ace of Pentacles. Look at the people in that pentacle. That's interesting. So the Ace of Pentacles. Pentacles, Pentacles, Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles. Root earth power, first seed of matter, a circle birthed of its own body. The Ace of Pentacles reveals a great disk that expands beyond the confines of its frame. Within the circle is inscribed a five-pointed star, the pentagram, a potent magical symbol. Little human figures shelter okay, they shelter in the little points. I understand the meaning of the word, I can't pronounce it. Of the star and the circle. They curl up in fetal poses of comfort and sleep. They face inward toward the heart of the star, like children warming themselves around an open fire. They are protected in harmony with nature, storing and building their energies to burst forth, when the time is right, to bloom. A mosaic of 7 triangles makes up the pentagon at the heart of the star. A holy number, 7 has always exercised an influence in human ideas of the pattern of time and space. 7 were the planets known to the ancient world, and 7 days rule the time for us still today. The round pentacle is a model of the world and a memory of the womb. In this sacred space, every creature finds birth and shelter. Above the pentacle, 2 seeds have sprung open. Their tender seedlings reach out against the pattern of grand ceremonial ribbons into the future. See the 2 little seedlings. That's beautiful. That's almost poetry. Meaning, the Ace of Pentacles concentrates the aspects of earth. Earth cultivates and furthers fertility of all kinds, of the soul, expressed in fresh ideas, of the body or family, fulfilled in the birth of the next generation, of the world itself, manifested in ever-renewed Gaia herself, the planetary web of life. Material wealth, success in business, inner riches, prosperity of the soul. Well, I like the book. It's a little hard to read, particularly out loud, because there's lots of semicolons and commas, but yeah, that's really nice. Let's see, about the artist. At midnight on New Year's Eve, 1961, Helga Gopferd, please pardon that, I think she's German, please pardon my horrible pronunciation, very pregnant with her second child, took a tiny celebratory sip of her husband's strong sailor's punch. Well, moments later, she was in labor. Okay. Okay, Michael is her son, who was apparently born in 1961, we needed to start with his birth. He is, okay, he does do book plates. His hometown of Coburg. And he does do book plates. And he came to the United States in 1980. And there you go. That's a little bit about the artist. And we have an introduction by Brian. Yeah. Do we have multiple introductions? We have a preface by Brian Williams and an introduction by nobody. It doesn't give credit. And then it just talks about the cards. There are no spreads in here. There's no additional history of the tarot. The book is just all about the cards and a little bit about the artist. But, you know, I think I appreciate it better, even with the yucky cardstock. I think I appreciate it better after having done this little slight flip through. That's a great Hanged Man. And I'm not generally somebody who goes for black and white decks, but I kind of like this one. And then I've seen Kelly show us the Heart and Hands, and so I might have to get that one too. We'll see. Anyway, great to talk to you again. I hope it's not another 2 weeks or so before I do this again. Oh, and the other thing that I did do, I did start a blog. So I do just want to let you know, I'm going to try every week to, sorry, I'm always trying something new, and this isn't working so well. But there's my blog at WordPress. There will be a link in the stuff below. Anyway, thanks everybody. Have a great day.